And good Tuesday to everybody out there in YouTube land. We are coming to you from the Ashley Kringen studios of the UBS Network. This is the Jerry Hinkle program. I am Jerry Hinkle, and this is my program. And we are being brought to you by Coca-Cola. And I had a little drink during rehearsal. I am well below the legal. There's no alcohol in this stuff. At least there used to be cocaine, but no alcohol. At least that's what they told me. Anyhow, so the title of this episode is Jerry is Reviewing, and I will be reviewing in both senses of the word. I'm going to tell you all what I've done since our last episode, Friday, I believe it was, and I'm going to tell you a few things about different. I'm going to be reviewing a few of the theatrical things that I looked at. So this could be we could be here a while. So get some Coca-Cola, get in, sat down and relax a while. You can pause your YouTube machine if you have to get comfortable and get a snack or whatever. Because, like I say, we're going to be here a while, and it might help if I just move things along by telling you that I went to the Patton Wing Theater Saturday afternoon, and I stayed till a goodly part of to the dark part of the evening. It was sundown by the time I got out of there, and I love the Patton Wing Theater, and it was I had no work to distract me from all of my fun activities that particular afternoon, evening, and into the night. So that was nowhere else to go, and so I just a little sad that there has been news of a possible leveling of Hughes Hall with where the Patton Wing Theater is located, and it's a 103-year-old building. 104-year-old building. We're in 2016 or 2016 if you prefer. So that the building has probably seen better days. It looks okay to me, but there's other forces at work, and so it would be nice if there was some use for the building, and apparently there is not. Now, but theater goers don't worry, because a brand new theater that they're going to be moving into over around the museum of that Dakota Discovery Museum, just on the other side of the McGovern Theater, Montgomery Library, excuse me. And so it's going to be an interesting, and there's plenty of parking out there. So we'll see. I probably can't get anybody to park with me, but that's another story. So I was at the Patton Wing Theater. What was I doing? I was looking in on my investment. The movie Last Will, a short film by Chris Ferrara. He made this film. I may have misspoke earlier when I said it was at a cost of $12,000. It was more like $10,000 if you go to the IMDb there and read what they say. But and I contributed a mere $1,000 to it because I wasn't quite the big wheel that I thought I was, but that's all right. The main thing is we got the movie made. with a little bit of a financial contribution from myself and other like-minded individuals. And it was a pretty good short film, as far as short films go. Now, the New York Film Academy, or I'm going to, you know, I'm confused about the whole thing when it was the New York Film, and for some reason I thought he was in New York doing, studying up on this, but he was actually in the Los Angeles area. He seems to be, from what I gather, he lives in the Burbank area, beautiful downtown Burbank. Those of you who are familiar with Johnny Carson's Tonight Show and Laugh In know all about beautiful downtown Burbank. At least you've heard of it, of course, do you suppose that's where I learned phrases like beautiful downtown Hollywood and beautiful downtown Mitchell? You know, it could be. I've never been to beautiful downtown Burbank, but if the situation calls for me to go, I probably could if other forces at work were at work there. So anyhow, we're gonna get back to the story. So I go to and it's now it's the institute where that Chris has got his master's degree from, the New York Institute here, Academy, whatever. I probably should have looked that up before I got online here. But anyhow, the school that Chris went to in the Los Angeles area, they like to have their films around 8 minutes long when they do their master's thesis. And Chris went a little long with his 12-minute film, and his friend made a film that was even longer, and we'll talk about that later. But let's get back to Last Will. It's a very entertaining film. I don't know, entertaining might not be the right word for it, but it does keep your attention. It is a good story. It seems a little rushed because it is 12 minutes long, and it's more like an extended trailer in some respects. It's more like a 12-minute trailer. This could be an epic feature film with the right kind of, the right kind of budget and the right kind of, fleshing out of the script, because there's so much of the story that we don't know. We wonder, or at least I did, what was the relationship between the two brothers and their father versus the secret third brother, and what was his relationship, and the mothers of all three of these. It would be interesting to find out how they react to, did we know that the two brothers didn't know about the secret brother. What did the secret brother know about the other two brothers? There's so many. That's the wonderful thing about this story, is that there's so many unanswered questions that could be answered with a feature film, and hopefully somebody with more money than I have will figure that out and say, all right, Chris, how about $100 million to start? It would be nice if that would happen. And if any of y'all out there have $100 million in your couch cushions, you get in touch with me. I'll get in touch with Chris. We'll make this happen. Even if you only have 100,000 in your couch cushions, I'm sure that would we could use it. He could use 100,000. He might even be able to use half of that, and you know how that goes. So, like I said, but it's a good movie, and I hesitate about the thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. We'll just say it's a great movie. I can't. I understand that the thumbs up is a registered trademark of Siskel and Ebert for a very good reason, and so I would have to pay them in order to give it to give any movie thumbs up. So we'll just say that it's a good movie. Uh, uh, if I was to assign it a letter grade, I'd give it an A, even though uh, uh, like I say, it's a good start, and a good start only means that it could be a great finish later on. Because when you think of it, all movies, no matter how long, there's usually this, the story doesn't end. There's always like this particular story. I can tell you how the movie ends, but there's more to it than that. There's all kinds of things that could happen after, but well, I'm not going to spoil that. So we'll just say that, like I said, a great movie. Now, the second short film that I saw at the Pat Wing Theater was a wonderful little. It was as they described it. It's a pilot for a TV series that that has it could well they bandied around the name Netflix, like they could show it on Netflix, and the thing of it is, and it was the pilot episode. It was very well written, very well filmed. One of the interesting things about they did a film that was something like 3 minutes scene where this the two brothers in this particular is okay. Did I mention the name of the short film was Head of the Mouse? That comes from the proverb that it's better to be the head of the mouse than the tail of the lion. So anyhow, in this particular pilot film that they did, one of the most impressive things, and it did, a lot of people noticed that they did it in one take, was they went around there was 6 rooms in this mansion, and they did kind of a sweeping thing, and the one brother was introducing his younger brother to the other 6 families, and they rule this obscure Latin American country, and it was entirely filmed in California, and they happened to find a section of California they found a mansion in Pasadena that they were able to get access to. And of course, there was also, and there's other places, but apparently there are places in the California area that look like a obscure third world country in Latin America. Imagine that. It doesn't hurt that there's an obscure third world Latin American country just a few miles south of California, but that's neither here nor there. Anyhow, and that was like I say, I wanted to watch episode 2 after that, just to see what happened after that. And I heard a couple of folks saying, yeah, I'd watch that if it was on Netflix. Well, I understand Netflix charges quite a bit per month to get access to that, and I'd have to look at that real hard. And most of my money, I always had I feel sorry for me, because I've always had this trouble with finding out where to spend all my money. And well, now that I have become a producer, and I'd like to, as soon as some of my certificates of deposit come due, we're going to see. I know I should save money for retirement, but if I died tomorrow, all that money wouldn't do me any good. I mean, my family would fight over it, and well, I hope they don't fight Chris over it too much one time, but that's neither here nor there. Anyhow, like I say, that was an excellent movie. Of course, so we go. Uh, uh, so in the evening, I'm restless. And I'm old and restless, not young and restless like the soap opera. So I said, I'm going to go and see. I had been hearing some buzz about that movie, London Has Fallen, I believe is the name of it. London has fallen, England has fallen, and something was fallen. So I read it. I read a review in the paper for that. So so I drove by the luxury to see. It was at 9:35 that night. So I said, okay, well, I'll kill some time, take a little nap, and get over to the. I have a hard time sleeping at night for some reason. I don't know, that might have something to do with a certain retail giant corporation that shall remain nameless, and which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just one of those. So I went to see the movie. Morgan Freeman as the vice president was very good, and Angela Bassett, who still looks like Tina Turner to me, was very good as his aide, the presidential aide, not Morgan Freeman's aide. And and without giving too much away, it was a very good, because most movies that I watch are predictable, and this did keep me guessing for a while. There were a few things that I thought, well, are this going to be a part of the movie that I'm going to have to remember? For one thing, early on, all of the world leaders except for the president of Russia are going to this funeral of the prime minister of England, or Great Britain. And so, and right away, I'm thinking, okay, this might be, maybe the Russians are involved in some of this, but they never did bring up Russia after that. And there's different world leaders that were based on real life world leaders and they tried to get all of them, and I don't remember if they actually did kill the Italian or the French president. I think it was one of them that they went on. It was well. Anyhow, okay, great movie. I spent $9 to watch the movie. I spent $9.50 on the popcorn and soda. Of course, I drank Mountain Dew to make sure that I stayed awake through the movie because I had no idea. Well, it was only 99 minutes long according to the paper, but of course, Mountain Dew with the lime syrup at the luxury. If y'all are in the Mitchell area, you need to see a movie. That would be the place to. They call it the luxury for a reason. You will not get out of there for less than $10. Even I never do, because the $9 price to get me in, for one thing. Even if you did the matinee, and Mountain Dew with lime, I had it, and I could. Yeah, that's pretty much. I can't do anything else. Root beer with lime just wouldn't work for me, and of course they have Pepsi products there at the luxury, so you gotta pretty much. But Mountain Dew with lime, great. The movie was great. Popcorn, butter, great. I always ask for. I love to trip up the folks there at the concessions. I always ask for a hot buttered popcorn, and then they usually, out of habit, ask, "Do you want butter with that?" That didn't happen though. Saturday night, they must be getting you. Oh, I remember that dude. It's nice that someone remembers me. But okay, so that was. Okay, the last review I got for you is the play that was at the Pepsi Cola Theater. Imagine that. Now they don't have lime syrup for their Mountain Dew, and I don't know. Well, that might be one of my projects. I might see if I can get them. Of course, getting them the syrup and maintaining that might be a very expensive proposition as well. Okay, so the show that they had at the Pepsi Cola Theater, where I had Mountain Dew and a large popcorn there. Imagine that. No, I didn't. Strike that. No, I did not have. I had. I didn't. I didn't have anything at the concession stand. Shame on me. I was. I'm not sure. Oh, listen. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Oh, I know what it was. It was the 50-50 raffle. That's how I supported the theater. Because I was thinking. Well, I was running low on luck and time there, and so I had to get going, and I only had time enough to buy the 50-50 tickets at the raffle. I did not, but that's just, and well, I have to lose weight. There's no doubt about that. I mean, if you pay attention to the comments, this is, nobody says, "Have you lost weight? You look anorexic. You look bulimic. Are you sure you're eating properly?" Well, I am eating, and probably not as properly as it should be. But that's how that goes. Anyhow, the play, yes, it was Love, Sex, and the IRS. Now there was love. Didn't see any sex, and of course the IRS come into play because these two fellas that lived together. This was a period piece back in the 70s. These two fellas lived together. One of them is called Leslie. Do remember that if you can. And the other guy's name was John. And John is apparently an accountant, or at least he does taxes. So he did both of their taxes, and he got to somehow the marriage penalty that exists in real life did not exist during the course of this program, because for some reason they figured out it was easier for him to be married for John. John figured out it was easier for him to be married to Leslie. And so, but he'd been doing this for 4 years, and it catches up to him later on. Meanwhile, the play opens with Jeff Holstein. He's kind of world famous here in Mitchell, and he's done many. His biggest role that I have seen was his star turn in the Danny Zuko role in Grease, the musical that played at the Pepsi Cola Theater. And Jeff, every once in a while, shows up with his lady friend at my section of the Walmart, and I always try to act like I'm not starstruck to see him, very calm, very professional, and I ask him if he's finding everything okay, just the same as I do everybody else, because I don't want anyone to think anybody getting special treatment, because that, you can't treat celebrities better than you treat regular people in the retail business. And so you got to treat everybody like they are a world famous star like that. And so anyhow, the play starts with Jeff Holstein as Leslie, who will be in a dress later on, and that was a big thing in the paper. And so anyhow, and there and young he and this young lady are on the couch spooning, I believe is the proper term for that. I'm not sure, but the young lady who's the character name I cannot remember, but her the actress, whatever you want. Her name was Liz Beth. Interesting spelling there. It was Liz and then capital B Beth. And with a name like that, you would think she'd be a whole lot more famous. And she is a very lovely lady. And she was in No Sex Please, a British farce that played at the Pepsi-Cola Theater earlier. And I think this is only the second time that I have seen her, and she was in. I'm sure she was in Les Mis, but I did not see that because a certain retail giant kept me busy enough to where and of course Pizza Hut did the same thing. So I was busy back then, and so the only time I could see that was like, after a minute I'd fall asleep on Wednesday afternoon. Okay. Anyhow, so yeah, and it's a pretty good show. They had the fellow who played the street preacher also sold the 50-50 tickets, and I'm not sure if they all had the ladies in the show. There was also Leslie, the Jeff Holstein character. Leslie had a girlfriend played by Samantha Menning, I believe is the actress's name. Cannot remember. I probably should have brought the book along with me so we could all follow along. But everything worked okay in the end. And interestingly enough, this is one thing Jeff Holstein did was he was able to channel both Ralph Cramden and Alice Cramden rather well. And and as women go, he was not all that beautiful, but I think that was part of the joke. But it was a very good performance. He and the fellow who played the IRS agent did okay with that. He was. You almost felt sorry for him because he had to go home to this rather beastly wife, and I was wondering if they were going to go with. He was going to try to make the manly moves on Leslie, but they never did go there. That was one place they didn't go. And but the entire cast did a wonderful job. Each in their they brought something to the role, and it was so I don't want to mention everybody because if I keep talking about everybody that was in the show, you're going to know what I don't know about the show and what instead of what I do know. What I do know is it was a good show, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I love the Pepsi-Cola Theater. They do great work, and they have something coming up that intrigues me. It's kind of a movie. Not a movie. It's a murder mystery kind of theater thing. I suppose they did a murder at the Pink Flamingo, a lounge in Florida, and now they're doing murder at the Deadwood Saloon, and it looks interesting. I might see about trying to get. The thing of it is, it's on April 1st, so I don't know if I'm going to be in it. That's a Friday evening, and I'm not, I'm going to have to do that and then get to Walmart, and they have an overflow date of April 2nd, which is a Saturday. So I might have to forget about that because the cutoff date for the tickets is March 17th. And I won't know by March 17th if I have April 1st or 2nd. And I probably, it's altogether possible that I don't. But that's okay. We will see how that goes. And I think they did have, and one thing I do want to mention in case, if you wake up, okay, the New York Film Academy Institute that Chris went to, they like their movies to be 8 minutes long, but Chris's movie was 12 minutes long, and the the head of the mouse was 22 minutes long, because like I say, it was a pilot for a TV series which they did, and it was mentioned by some of the folks present. Well, why did the school discourage you from making it that long? And it brought to me, this school that Chris and his friend went to. They want their students to be successful, because then they will fund scholarships for the next generation of filmmakers that might not be able to afford it. Because when Chris is successful, he will have the money in it. He will be the one to say, "Oh, that's a nice. I can give you 100 million or 100,000 or whatever for that," because that's what you do when you're successful. You owe it to help out the next generation. That's good for the industry, no matter what it is. And and I was thinking, well, he was talking about about they want to be successful, and the conventional wisdom is that you make an 8-minute short film, and that's the way, and that's just the way to do it. They don't want to, and of course it's cheaper to make an 8-minute film than it would be to make a 12-minute film or a 22-minute film. And to take that extra risk, you're going to have to really have the chutzpah to see it through. And I was thinking, this is kind of similar to the Microsoft deal. Those of you who follow the business world know, or if you as closely as I do at least, that when the Bill Gates, who founded Microsoft, when his business plan for Microsoft, he was a student at Harvard School of Business. And when he got the idea for Microsoft, and he had it all, his business plan that he made, and he got a failing grade on the business plan for Microsoft, if you can believe that. And he believed in Microsoft, the business plan, the idea for that so much that he dropped out of Harvard Business School and went right to proving to Harvard Business School that he could do what the business plan said. And so he got some venture capitalist help, and he got his parents' garage. And okay, here's a little sideline. The founders of Pizza Hut did that. Their first pizzeria was in their parents' garage. And I believe Hewlett Packard also, one of the, either Mr. Hewlett or Mr. Packard, had parents who let them use their garage, and so if you have children and you want them to be successful, and they say, Mom, Dad, we want to run a business out of your garage. Is that okay? You might want to say yes on that. Don't because Pizza Hut, Microsoft, Hewlett Packard, they're a little bit more well-heeled than the average hardware store. Of course, if you're, ain't nobody wants to run a hardware store out of their parents' garage, but that's okay. No, software is where it's going. All right. So, well, do I want to spoil it for you? Do you really want? Well, I think I already did. Yes, Microsoft turned out to be successful, and by now, I'd say Bill Gates probably moved out of his parents' garage and into better surroundings there, so it worked out. And and another thing, if you follow my Facebook account at all, you know that I and on the Hullabird Advocate Facebook page, we make fun of Kanye West just a little. And I know that's bad, and I gotta slap my wrist now on that. Bad publisher. Well, you didn't see that. Bad publisher. Bad publisher for doing that. Because it's not a very Christian thing to do. I know. And to be honest, it's the easy way. It's the easy thing to do, but it's not the Christian way. Because it's not, and that's why it's like earlier last time we got together, I said that I said that Donald Trump was full of himself, and I said, oh yeah, well, he's full of something, get that little it's fun to get your little digs into the rich and famous, because that's just the way the world is, and we have to fight that worldly influence, and remember that judge not, and you will not be judged, and all that kind of thing. Anyhow, my goodness, we're heading into record territory here, and so this is the longest episode of the Jerry Hinkle program that we've ever done. So we better find a good place to end it. And I will remind you, of course, we are brought to you by Coca-Cola. And I drank a little bit. I have been fighting the urge to drink it ever since, because it has been getting rather warm here in beautiful downtown Mitchell. It was 80 degrees Sunday afternoon when I got out of the Pepsi Cola Theater at 4 o'clock. And that was... Whew. And it was very warm, and of course, like a dummy, I was wearing my suit at the time, and I did leave my jacket in the car, because I knew it was going to get up to 70. I did not know it was going to get up to 80 in beautiful downtown Mitchell when I did that. So that's how that goes. And this is the Jerry Hinkle program from the Ashley Kringen Studios, a studio of the UBS network. God be with you. Do the best you can. And hey, get out of my bathroom. You're invading my privacy.